All right, so this is my week 20 NBA power rankings. Let's get started. So our injuries here, we got a lot of different injuries going on. The Hawks lost Sadiq Bey for the rest of the season, as well as Kobe Buffkin and Onyeka Okongwu for a couple of weeks. Karl Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves is going to be out until the playoffs, likely. Maybe even potentially part of the playoffs, depending on how everything goes there. The 76ers, they got D'Anthony Melton, supposed to be out for about 2 to 4 more weeks. He was supposed to be questionable this week, but it got extended for a couple of more weeks here. Um, let's see, the Blazers, Malcolm Brogdon could play this week. He's doubtful. Probably would likely return next week if he does end up returning. The Knicks, OG Anunoby's been out for about 5 weeks. He's gonna should be back playing tonight, so that'd be good there. Lakers got Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood both questionable to return for them this week. The Grizzlies, one more week for Marcus Smart and Desmond Bane. Raptors lost Chris Boucher for the rest of the season, probably. Said about 3 to 4 weeks, but at that point, if the Raptors are going to be eliminated from contention, which it looks like they probably would be, then he'll just be out for the rest of the season. Bulls got Torrey Craig back. Rockets lost Alperen Sengun for probably the rest of the season, unless, he could be back again. And same thing as Chris Boucher, like a week or two or so before the end of the regular season, but the Rockets will likely already be out of contention. The Heat lost Josh Richardson for the season. The Nets lost Ben Simmons for the season. So a lot of injuries going on. Wizards lost Marvin Bagley for about a week. Devin Booker is back for the Suns. He only missed a couple of games there. Cavs Donovan Mitchell is supposed to be questionable this week. He's missed only 1 week so far. Benedict Mathurin for the Pacers is now injured for the season as well. And then Taylor Hendricks for the Jazz missed all of last week and is going to be questionable this week for that. So yeah, that is all the injuries. Now we go to number 30 here is going to be the Charlotte Hornets. They were not good this week. 1-3 on the week. Lost to the Pistons and to the Wizards this week. So they got to move them all the way down because they just lost to two of the worst teams in the league in the same week. Not a good look. Um, 29 is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 1-2 on the week. 22-43 overall, so not the best record there for the Grizzlies as well. They also did sign Wenyen Gabriel to a 10-day contract, so maybe he could be a decent rotational guy for a Grizzlies team who has a whole lot of injuries. Number 28 is going to be the Detroit Pistons, who went 2-2 on the week. Actually, a good week for them. They beat the Nets and the Hornets, lost to the Mavs and the Heat, and they also signed Taj Gibson to a 10-day to give him a good veteran presence in their locker room. Number 27 is going to be the Washington Wizards after they went 2-1 on their week. They had lost 16 straight games and they ended up winning 2 games in 1 week. So they're going to move up all the way up to number 27. So, a little bit of improvement there. They beat the Hornets and they actually did beat the Heat as well. Number 26 is going to be the Trailblazers, who are 18-46 overall. They went 1-3 on the week. Lost to the Thunder, Rockets, and Celtics and beat the Raptors. Number 25 is going to be the San Antonio Spurs, who are 14-51. They went 1-3 on the week. They lost to the Rockets, the Kings, and the Warriors, but they also beat the Warriors 1 or 2 times as well. Number 24 here is going to be the Utah Jazz. They went 0-2 on the week. Not a great look for the Jazz right now. They lost to the Bulls only by 2. They got destroyed by the Nuggets. And they also cut Otto Porter from their team, who then actually ended up retiring. He's only about 30 years old, so it's kind of a surprise retirement there. But they also did sign Kenny Lofton Jr. to a deal. Number 23 is going to be the Toronto Raptors at 23-42. They went 0-4 on the week, so obviously not a great look there for the Raptors. They also lost Chris Boucher for the rest of the season, but I don't think they, should have gone below any of the other teams below. I think there's still certainly a gap in between the Jazz and the Raptors right now. Number 22 is going to be the Houston Rockets, who are 29-35. They went 3-1 on the week. So it's a good week for them, but they also lost Alperen Sengun for likely the rest of the season. So that's why they're going to be dropping still quite a bit of spots, even though they were having a really, really good week. Number 21 is going to be the Atlanta Hawks, who are 29-35, went 3-1 on the week. They were doing really solid, but they're going to be hurting a little bit with some injuries because they lost Sadiq Bey for the rest of the season and Onyeka Okongwu is going to be injured for a couple of weeks there as well. They're currently 3.5 games above the Nets for the 10 seed right now, so they should be able to stay afloat there. But obviously, you already have Trae Young out and losing two of your next, really good players on your team. Obviously, not a good look for the Hawks. Number 20 here is going to be the Brooklyn Nets, who went 2-2 on the week. So, they're right below the Hawks in standings, but I think they're currently a better team right now because of all the Hawks injuries. But this week, they went 2-2, which is solid. Beat the Sixers, beat the Cavs, and then lost to the Pistons, though, and the Hornets. So not a good look there for them. Number 19 is going to be the 76ers, who went 1-3 on the week. Not a great week for them, 36-28 overall. I do think Maxey missed a couple games as well, so that's probably also why they were losing some, but they did not play great. Lost to the Nets, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans, and their only win was against the Knicks in a game that ended in a score of 79-73. Number 18 is going to be the Chicago Bulls here, actually. They've been playing decent basketball, actually, over the last couple of weeks. 31-34 right now, sits 1.5 games ahead of the Hawks for the 9 seed, 4.5 games out of the 8 seed, so they're probably going to be locked into that 9 seed. But they had a pretty solid week this week. They beat the Warriors and Jazz and only lost to the Clippers and Mavericks, and they got Torrey Craig back. So, good things happening for the Bulls right now. Number 17 is going to be the Knicks, who went 1-2 on the week, 37-27 overall. They're currently sitting there at the 4 seed, but they're only 2 games away from dropping all the way down to the 8 seed. This week they lost to the Hawks and Sixers. They did beat the Orlando Magic, as well as get OG Anunoby back from injury, which should be helping them quite a bit. Number 16 is going to be the Golden State Warriors, who went 2-2 on the week, 34-30 overall. Not the best record for the Warriors. Still a really good team, I believe. They beat the Bucks by 35 points. They lost to the Bulls, and then they went 1-1 against the Spurs this week. Number 15 is going to be the Indiana Pacers, who went 2-1 on the week, are 36-29 overall. They beat the Mavs, beat the Magic, and only had a 2-point loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves as their only loss of the week. So a good week here for the Indiana Pacers, who are currently sitting at the 7 seed, only half a game ahead of the 8 seed, and only 1.5 games away from being the 4 seed. Number 14 is going to be the Orlando Magic, who are 37-28 here, 2-2 on the week. They played, let's see. If I can find it here. They played the Hornets and Wizards and won those games, and they lost to the Knicks, and they lost to the Pacers. So even though they just lost to the Knicks and Pacers, I still have them ranked above them because of the Pacers, losing Benedict Mathurin for the rest of the season. And the Magic are currently half a game away from the 4 seed there, but only 1.5 games away from above the 8 seed. Number 13 is going to be the Miami Heat. They went 1-3 this week and lost Josh Richardson to injury for the rest of the season, so they're dropping here 9 whole spots. Currently sitting at the 8 seed. Again, only 2 games away from that 4 seed though, so definitely a lot of things can still happen. But as it stands right now, they're not looking too great because they got to be playing, a playing game here. But this week they lost to the Mavs, Thunder, and Wizards. So, 2 good losses, but losing to the Wizards is not good. And they beat the Pistons this week. So, pretty unimpressive win and, not some great losses either. Number 12 is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 44-21. They went 1-2 on the week. Pretty solid week for them, but they are going to drop 6 spots here because Karl-Anthony Towns got injured. They did not play bad this week at all. They lost to the Cavs and the Lakers, who are some really good teams, and they beat the Indiana Pacers. It's just losing one of your best players, I think definitely makes you guys definitely not a top 6 team in the league anymore. Number 11 is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 41-24. Went 2-3 on the week. Not the best week for them either, but they should be getting Donovan Mitchell back this week, which definitely should help them out a little bit. And they just beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, so I think they should go right above them. That makes a lot of sense to me. They beat the Celtics this week as well in a game where Dean Wade, of all people, had like 20 fourth quarter points or something. Basically pulled out the move that LeBron did a couple weeks ago against the Clippers. That was basically Dean Wade in this game against the Celtics. But yeah, not the best week for them. They ended up losing 3 games to the Suns, the Nets, and the Hawks. But they beat 2 really good teams in the Celtics and Timberwolves. Number 10 is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, finding their way back in the top 10 for the first time in a long time in these rankings. I don't know if they even were. I don't know when the last time they were number 10 in my rankings. It might not even have been this season. Not 100% sure, but I think it was probably somewhere towards the play-in tournament days. But they're definitely looking like one of the better teams as of late. They currently have their best record of the season as it stands, so that's obviously looking good for them. They have not been 6 games above 500 all season long. So definitely a good look for them. They lost to the Kings by only 10, beat the Bucks, and beat the Timberwolves. So played some really good teams this week and ended up with a winning record. Number 9 is going to be the Dallas Mavericks, who are 37-28. They went 3-1 on the week, so a pretty good week for them as well. They only lost to the Pacers this week, who are still a good team. Then they beat the Heat, Pistons, and Bulls. And Luka's been, amazing, like for a long time. Like I think he's had like 6 or 7. He had like 6 straight 30-point triple doubles, which is a new record, and has like 7 or 8 triple doubles in a row right now. Number 8 is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 39-25. They were number 13, so they're going to move up about 5 spots here after going 5-0, or I mean, sorry, 3-0 on the week. So that's a pretty good jump for the Pelicans. They beat the Raptors by 40, beat the Sixers, and beat the Hawks this week. So definitely good wins there. Number 7 going to be the Los Angeles Clippers, who are 41-22, jumping up a couple of spots here. They went 2-1 on the week. It's pretty solid. They beat the Rockets, they beat the Bulls, and their only loss was to the Milwaukee Bucks, who are one of the best teams in the league as well. Number 6 is actually going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 42-23. They only went 1-2 on the week, but they had a pretty tough schedule, I would say. They lost to the Warriors, the Lakers, and then they beat the Los Angeles Clippers. So not a bad stretch there. So they're going to only drop here about 3 spots. They didn't play bad at all this week. Number 5 is going to be the Sacramento Kings, who are 36-27, are now 2-1 on the week. Pretty good spot for them. They're currently sitting here at the 7 seed, only 2.5 games ahead of the 10 seed, but also only 2.5 games away from the 5 seed. So a good week here next week could be the difference between the 5 seed or the 10 seed for the Kings. In all honesty, you got about 6 teams separated by only 5 games there. Number 4 here is going to be the Phoenix Suns, who are 38-27, currently sitting at the 6th seed. They went 3-1 on the week, so a pretty good week there for the Suns. They beat the Nuggets, they beat the Raptors, they beat the Cavs, and they only lost to Boston Celtics. And they also got Devin Booker back from injuries. So definitely looking like one of the best teams in the NBA right now. Number 3 here is going to be the Boston Celtics. They went 2-2 on the weeks. They had an 11-game winning streak coming in, and then Dean Wade, put an end to that. And then they also lost another game this week to the Denver Nuggets. They lost back-to-back games before pulling out back-to-back wins over the Suns and the Blazers. They'll still sit at number 3 currently right now. It was obviously really, really good, just not the best overall week this week, but they did have some tough competition to deal with. Number 2 is going to be the Denver Nuggets because they did beat the Boston Celtics. Sitting at 45-20 is a really good record for them. Currently sitting only half a game away from the Thunder at the 1 seed, 1 game above the Timberwolves, who are the 3 seed. So, definitely things are looking good right now for the Denver Nuggets. This week, like I said, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Jazz, they beat the Raptors, and they only lost to the Phoenix Suns, who are a really, really good team as well. Number 1 is going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder at 45-19, currently half a game up the Nuggets for the 1 seed. So looking good right now for the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course. On a 3-game winning streak right now, went undefeated in this week. Beat the Blazers, beat the Heat, and beat the Grizzlies. So did not have exactly a tough schedule, as tough of a schedule as other teams, but they took care of business, which is really all that matters, and that's going to move them up to the number 1 spot here for me. So let's go into our top performers. We have a lot to go over. Sengun put up a 45-piece with 16 boards. Then had a triple-double after that, but then he unfortunately had to get injured. Luka put up, back-to-back 30-point triple-doubles this week, and then had another triple-double in his 4th game as well. So he was just amazing all week long. Jared Allen, nearly a 20-20 game, then nearly a 30-20 game. He was just amazing in those games there. Sabonis had a 16-20-12 game, 31-17, and 9 games. So really, really good weeks or games for Sabonis this week. De'Aaron Fox had a 40-piece this week. D'Lo had a 40-piece this week on 9 of 12 3-pointers. That's really good. Anthony Edwards had a 40 piece as well. I don't know what it is about number 44, but all three of those guys scoring exactly 44 points in the same week is pretty interesting there. DeAndre Ayton nearly had a 30-20 game as well. Emmanuel Quickley almost had a 20 game with almost had a 20 and 20 game with having 18 assists and almost a triple double there as well with 9 rebounds. Giannis had a triple double, 34 points. Draymond had a triple double there. KD put up 45 points. Jokic had a couple different triple doubles, one having 6 steals in a game. Jaylen Brown had a 40 piece. DeJounte Murray had a 40 piece. Amen Thompson had 5 blocks and 2 steals in a game. AD had 27 and 25 with 7 steals and 3 blocks. That's going to be probably one of the better games of the entire season. So yeah, those are the top performers of the week. Let's get into the award races. The MVP is going to stay the exact same with Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis, and Tatum. Rookie of the Year is the exact same with Wemby, Chet, Brandon Miller, Jaime Jaquez, and Brandon Podziemski. Most improved player, only got a mild difference there. You got Maxey 1, White 2, Jalen Williams 3, Kuminga 4, and Alperen Sengun at number 5. Alperen Sengun had an amazing week, but still dropped in the rankings because he's probably not going to be able to be eligible for this award. But he's still currently on the top 5, but he'll probably be off there by next week once they have more an official deadline for him to be missing. 6th man of the year, you got Malik Monk at 1. Naz Reid's going to jump up a couple spots to number 2. Norman Powell drops 1 to 3. Bobby Portis jumps up to number 4. And Karis LeVert drops 1 spot to number 5. Our clutch player of the year had a lot of movement. Curry stays at 1. DeMar DeRozan jumps from 4 to 2. Dame Dame's going to jump up 1. Shea drops a couple spots, and Luka's going to jump up 1 spot there. Defensive player of the year stays the exact same with Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, Jared Allen, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis being the 5 guys there. And then Coach of the Year, you got Mark Daigneault at 1 still. Joe Mazzulla jumped up to number 2 with Chris Finch dropping to number 3. Then you got Jamal Mosley of the Magic coming back into the top 5 there at number 4. And then Rick Carlisle is going to jump up into the number 5 spot there for the Indiana Pacers coach. So that is going to be the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back next week for an updated NBA Power Rankings list. And be on the lookout for some NFL free agency content as well.